Pokemon Rumble is a silly little game from the Wii where you play as tiny toys who dream of becoming the champion of the Battle Royale. And what better way than to ruin a cute little game than to inscribe a bunch of hardcore rules on top of it. This is my journey of nuzlocking Pokemon Rumble. The journey of Pokemon Rumble is simple. Starting at rank C, your goal is to win 4 Battle Royales and climb to the top of rank S. Every journey of Pokemon Rumble begins the same. A silly little Rattata sneaks into a Battle Royale only to get totally wiped. And no, I don't think that constitutes a failure of the Nuzlocke run, as the scripted death happens before we're able to get any more Pokemon. Speaking of getting Pokemon, the game then guides us to our first area where you are guaranteed a decent drop. Pikachu. With Pikachu now at my side, the Nuzlocke truly begins. These are the Nuzlocke rules I've instated for myself. Each rank I only get the first Pokemon drop, I don't get to use passwords, I don't get more than 1 recruit per rank, and any dead or accidentally picked up Pokemon must be released, and I must avoid the money they drop as much as possible. You know, pretty standard stuff for Nuzlockes. And at first, I felt that though the rules may be challenging, the Nuzlocke would actually be achievable. We'll see just how far you can get in this game under these rules. I was pretty rusty at first, with hasty moves causing me to get flinch cornered by Meowth into game overs. But as I learned the routes and Pokemon moves, I became quicker and more adept at getting through each route. In the beginning, I approached this Rumble Nuzlocke like any Pokemon would approach a typical Pokemon Nuzlocke. Go through all the routes to gather as many encounters as possible, spending money I earned to improve the movesets of my Pokemon. However, I was barely able to get rank B with these choices. So I took a step back and thought about what mattered most in Pokemon Rumble. Pokemon power. Unlike a traditional Pokemon game where your Pokemon level up and gain moves, experience, stats, these little toy imitations of Pokemon are limited to the power that you first pick them up at. With the rules of the Nuzlocke making death and power a limited and random factor, I found that the easiest way to make progress through the first 2 ranks is to immediately challenge the Battle Royale as soon as it was unlocked, meaning I had to attain a Pokemon of at least 100 power for rank C and 200 power for rank B. Typically, I would get a Pokemon of that power level fairly quickly, meaning I didn't have to risk my Pokemon in any more routes than necessary. I feel this is similar to when Nuzlockers will avoid unnecessary trainer battles or wild encounters in the overworld to minimize risk of losing valuable team members. I use this philosophy while playing through routes. Avoid engaging in combat with Pokemon, only fighting when I felt like I had the upper hand or needed to get through opponents blocking my way. Early on, I would spend my time clearing Pokemon to earn extra money in order to save up for my first recruit. Recruiting Pokemon may seem a little bit like a cheat at first, but as ranks increase in difficulty, the importance of this recruited Pokemon became paramount. In my runs, I wouldn't recruit my first Pokemon until rank B. However, you can't recruit a new guy right away. You need to clear at least 1 area, and being the easiest route, I would choose Silent Forest, pray that I could clear it, and then go straight to the blue building to roll the recruitment die. Recruits randomly generate a Pokemon from the areas you have defeated. This recruited Pokemon becomes a lifesaver, as power is quickly outpaced throughout the game, meaning every single time you rank up, the Pokemon you just cleared the Battle Royale with is now the only viable Pokemon you have to take on the new rank. And that could be a pretty nerve-wracking affair, especially going into rank A or S. Rank A and S, the final 2 ranks, are the worst. Not only do both ranks increase the power level for the Battle Royale by 200 instead of 100, but the Royales themselves become more tricky. I found that I couldn't really clear rank A's Royale without having 2 Pokemon above power level 400, a prospect that is incredibly dire when you only have 7 encounters total in each rank. At this point in the game, there is very little skill involved. each Pokemon drop is a prayer to the heavens that you'll get something more powerful than the last. Aside from powerful glowing Pokemon, it's impossible to tell what power level a Pokemon may be at a glance, and the deeper you go into an area doesn't necessarily increase your chances. In fact, the only thing I felt helped increase my odds is actually picking up more Pokemon drops throughout the run, only keeping the first and hopefully increasing the power of the next Pokemon route encounter. Though extremely tricky, clearing rank A isn't impossible. With the right luck, recruitment roll, and power levels, it is possible. However, rank S is nigh impossible. As the climactic ending to the story, the Battle Royale is fiercer than ever, and I was unable to get an attempt even through rank S. But as a test run through, I determined to comfortably clear rank S's Battle Royale, you'd need at least 3 Pokemon over the power level 600. That is barely under half of your encounters, and honestly, is a statistical nightmare. As such, with my current Nuzlocke rules, I don't believe it to be possible to clear the normal story. However, these self-imposed rules aren't immune to a bit of restructuring. I don't want to give up on trying my Pokemon Rumble Nuzlocke, but with my given time restraint, current skill level, and the amount of luck involved, I wasn't able to find out for certain if you could complete the run with this current rule set. Rules are self-imposed and though feel concrete, aren't immune to changes. Throughout the course of my runs, I had originally kept money from released encounters and banned the use of recruiting, only to revise these ideas as I did more attempts. As one of the first people to try this challenge run, there's no approved Discord on how to properly Nuzlocke this game. So if you guys are interested, I have an adjusted rule set that I think will let more players play in Nuzlocke Pokemon Rumble, which will rely more on strategy than just random luck. If you'd love to see that video, be sure to subscribe, share this video with a friend, and give it a like. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye!